Debbie with Kip's Corner. Welcome back, and if you're new, welcome. Thanks for joining me. So I think in one of my last videos, I was kind of giving a rundown of where I am on some things. I was talking about Once Upon a Time. This is well, it started out to be one journal that I started a long time ago, and I just had it over here off to the side, and I'd work on it a little here and a little there in no hurry whatsoever. And I wanted to do that just to be able to when I come back to the table, it always be something different, and me not kind of repeating myself. And the essence is that this is one of Tracy's kits, and I will put the link below. And I wanted each signature to be about a different story, and the feel of the signature when you're flipping through to connect to the story. And so that's why just working on it very slowly, taking my time. Well, as I had 9 signatures originally, and I was just going to put a few pages in each signature, and I thought, that'll totally work. But the more I got into this and the more it grew, the more I realized that 9 signatures would create a journal that's like, got a 6-inch spine. And I didn't want to do that. So I've split them, and now this is going to be 2 journals. So this is the first one. This is the cover. Whoops, I've got a bunch of strings and stuff over here ready to play. This is the first cover that I created, and these are hardboard covers. And this will be, I think it's going to be a soft spine, hidden spine. And then the second one is the journal cover that I just did completely off camera, and it kind of looks like this. And so this is the cover of an old book, and this rusty kind of junk on here was on the cover. And so I leaned into that rust and these are some Finnebar metal pieces. This is a real doorknob faceplate. And then, whoops, that's just sitting on there. And then I added, some other pieces that kind of lean into that rusty, coppery kind of look. And this is a fabric. I had this fabric in my sale. I absolutely fell in love with it. And so I decided to use it for the cover. This is heavy. This cover is really heavy, as you can imagine. These are all full metal pieces. And then once I get done with the journal on the inside, I'll put the metal corners on it. And I might I might do something to the spine. Haven't decided yet. But anyway, this cover, or this journal now, is going to be, I've extracted the princess stories. And this will be the princess. And then this other one will be more kind of the Once Upon a Time, where every story is from a different, I think there's books, there might be like a Grimm's fairy tale, it's just tales from different areas, and then these are all princesses. So I'll show you just the covers, because this one now is ready to sew in the signatures, and once I get the second one ready to sew in, I'll kind of finish them off simultaneously. And so I'm not going to flip through the pages, but on this one we have Snow White, Rapunzel, Beauty and the Beast, and Cinderella. So that's sort of that, princesses kind of thing. So those 4 stories will be in that journal. And then there'll be 5 in this one. And this one will be, the dragon, Pinocchio, Wizard of Oz. This is like the King's Messenger. And Little Red Riding Hood. And so what I'm doing now is I'm going through these 5 signatures and I'm finishing them off. So I thought I would turn the camera on and let you kind of play along here with me while I play a little bit in these signatures. I think I'm going to start with the dragon. And I also went in, so when there was going to be 9 signatures, I just had just a few pages in each signature. So they were going to be 9, really thin ones. And since I split them, I feel like I have a little more room to play. And so I've gone in and I've added some different paper and things. So what I have here is the cover of the dragon. And then this is, this was from like a sample paper pack, so it's got a window in it. It was like a little stapled booklet where there was a bunch of windows. And so I'm gonna play today with this window. The page behind it, this is like a mop-up sheet from just playing with jelly print. So this is acrylic paint on the top of this, and it's a kind of a textured-y, nice paper on the back. This is a handmade paper with inclusions in it, and I thought those colors worked well. Some journal paper, and I've glued, so I've kind of created a couple tuck spots there. This is a handmade paper, and this imprint was already on it. It just came from an estate sale. There's several sheets of it in there. And so, I don't know, that just felt very dragon-esque to me. So I'm gonna leave it. Coffee dyed paper. And then this is some scrapbook paper that I'm gonna play with a little bit there. And so that's this particular signature. The signature papers, all of the covers of the signatures are from Tracy's kits. And they're all, you know, tags from Tracy's kits. So this kit would be a great kit to use to create a tag book with, but I decided to do journals instead. So, and then the papers on the inside, they're from scrapbook papers. There's some papers that are printouts, that are printed papers that I received from Patty Lang at Sacred Mementos and Kate Marshall at Inked Paper Art. Is that right? Inked Pulp Art. I'll put links below to their YouTube channels, and they both sell live. But then, and then also things like, you know, just some handmade papers that I have, you know, painting papers, things like that. So that's what's going on. I've got some things set aside here, and I started to play, and that's when I realized I should probably turn the camera on. So this is just a piece of Tim Holtz cardstock, and this is a piece of printable fabric that I just used sort of as some mop-up with jelly printing, just playing around with how that reacted to fabric. And I'm going to put a little dab of glue right there in that corner because that just looks like it does not want to stay. And so it's like a printable cotton. Fun little textile to work with. There we go. Just put a couple little dabs there. Okay. And then I have the picture here. This is from my stash. This is a dragon. And I've added a little paper fastener to the end. And this is sort of, it's kind of like a tea bag paper that's got, you know, coloration to it. So I added a little bit at the top of the bottom. He's going to go on here, and I think this whole thing is going to be a pocket. So that's where I am so far on this, and that's when I thought to myself, okay, turn the camera on. I've also got some brads here because I used some brads, these brass brads on the front. I may use some here as well. And then the idea is what I want to do, I want the dragon's face to be in this window. So I want this whole piece to be sitting on this painted paper. So I think that'll be kind of cool. And then he shows through kind of like that. So that's the plan. That almost lines up just right there. Yeah. So let me get busy and get going on him. So I think the first thing I want to do is, of course, is to put this, and then I don't know, maybe this is a pocket. That wouldn't be bad. I might create that as a pocket since I've got plenty of stability here to be able to do that. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is glue my dragon on, and I'm going to use Fabri-Tac for this just to buy me, well, for one thing, I'm gluing it on fabric, but I also just want to buy myself a little bit more time so that I can make sure I get that lined up properly in this window. So I'm just going to start with some Fabri-Tac, and my Fabri-Tac is almost empty, so it takes a minute for it to get down to the bottom. And this tea bag-ish paper, and I wish I knew where I had gotten it from, because I am almost out of it, and I cannot for the life of me remember where I got it. I've had it a long time. So anyway, I'll figure it out. I just have to figure out what it's called, and then I'll be able to find where I got it from. So I can't help you there, but I think I'm just want to center this sort of between the stitch marks, because I stitched around this piece. There we go. I think that's probably, I didn't stitch it straight, of course, but I did stitch around it. Get that straight. I'll just give him a little bit of rub down. I think that works. And I think it might even be straight. Maybe, close enough. And this is a black, one of Tim Holtz papers, and it's sort of the black or the dark. I'm going to snip this little piece off of thread. That'll make that easier to glue down. Okay, now what I want to do is look at this and say, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to do anything else? That's not quite straight. And that's got a little poke. I'm going to give that a little smack with the hammer here. Just 1 second. Bear with me. That's good. Little pokey thing hadn't flattened down yet. And I'm thinking maybe I want to put some brads. I've got another one here somewhere in at least the bottom 2 corners. So I'm going to use this to, let's see, where do I want those? Let's come up here. I want to try to get them even, as if that is going to happen. I think that's good. So I'm going to put one there. My crocodile sticks terribly. I'm going to poke that through there. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Now over here, I'm going to turn this and go this way. This should glue down just fine. But what I want to do is look to see if there's any of the brad poking out, and there's not. It fits on there perfectly, so that's great. I don't have to snip it off. But if I did, I would use my Tim Holtz scissors, because those do work on this thin metal. Let me push that down a little bit. Okay, let's do another one. This one's going to be tricky because I don't want to snip my threads here. I want these to hang down. So, and then that's about right, I think. Get the fabric goober off. Yeah, good enough. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to turn that so that I think all of the metal will be fully hidden. There we go. Yeah, there might be a little tiny bit on this one that hangs off. But let's take a peek. There's a thread there that's going to be coming off. There we go. Nope, I think that'll be, well, so this will give you a good example. Actually, all I really have to do is turn it around. There we go. There we go. So that's what the back looks like. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like that. And I think I will put this on as a pocket. So now what I got to do is make sure that I get it lined up. So that's why I'm keeping the signatures kind of in place here, because I want to make sure I get this lined up to where the face of the dragon is pretty much exactly See how I've got, you know, some room down there, so that means this needs to go lower, like that. So I want him in there. Let's see if he goes this way. And when, you know, once the journal's actually put together, this, it may not line up anymore, but that's about where I want him. Okay, so, but I'm gonna go ahead and move him over this way a little bit more. Just because I think I've got the room. Yeah, his nose isn't cut off yet because I kind of want to get it centered left to right. So he's wider. He's plenty wide. I think that will work. Okay, I'm going to take these two off just because there's too much bulk there for me to work with. I'm gonna put him right there. Okay, now what I gotta do is make sure, and actually, no, that is about right. Okay, yay. I'm gonna look for a, you know, kind of like a landmark, right? Something where I can remember to line it up with. I could mark on this, but this is just as easy. Okay, so I'm gonna use this line here as my landmark kind of line. And we're gonna get some glue on here. And I am gonna make it a pocket. So I'm just gonna go down the side, and I wanna get, and what I'm gonna do, because I've got these brads on here, I am gonna make this take up some of the space here at the bottom and take my glue up to the sew line. It just means the pocket won't be quite as deep. That's okay. I'm actually gonna do the same here on the side and take it up to my sew line. There we go. Simple Simon. And now this, here's a piece of wood paper. Now this is going to be a pocket, and I can slip something in there. Don't know what yet, but I think I'm gonna leave that as is. I might, you know what? I think, and this does still need to dry, I think I wanna put a little bit, what I got going on here? I got some strings that aren't cooperating. There we go. These will stop fraying once it gets to the glue in the sewn spot. Well, goodness gracious. There we go. That ought to do it. Oh, I lost my, I had some down here that I lost. Okay. I like it. I like it, I like it, I like it. All right. Now, I think what I started to say is I think what I want to do is maybe get a little bit of some wax on here, maybe a little bit of patina on that image. So when it comes to patina Gilder's wax, I like the Gilder's paste wax in patina. I just like this color. There are others who make kind of a patina color, but this one is one of my favorites. And so I'm just going to very lightly get some, there we go, a little patina in here on the image, just to age it up just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm gonna get it on the fabric as well as the dragon image. And it just gives that a little bit of age to that. So you can kind of see that paste, and then you can see some of the green down here. And some up here. Yeah, works. That looks too much perfect. There we go. There we go. Was too perfect. So now I've got some more on there. And I like that. All right. that's done. We just created a little pocket in there. Let me get this wax paste off my fingers. There we go. And then this, now I've got room here. I've got room on this too. This is shorter than this piece. And so I have room to slide it up and down a little bit. So if I put it in and I start to sew in the journal and I see that, you know, I've done this, I'll just need to make sure right before I sew it in that I don't do that. So it looks more like that. So there we go. That one is done. So let me put this back together. Kind of goes like that. And then I'll put this back. So there's more to do to this particular signature. I am not done with it yet. That's just one pocket that I've got in there. I'm trying to put a couple pockets in each signature with, you know, imagery and the cool paper and everything. So I've got a nice sturdy piece here in this scrapbook paper. Still is the center spread. So I'm going to do something, I think, on this panel. I just don't know what yet. So that might just be like a fun collage or something where I take, and I've got this string because I put string here. So it might be just a fun collage where I take some string and play with it. Maybe some old book page, maybe some like rag paper, something like that. So I'll come back to that later. But the next thing I want to work on a little bit is I want to do some, a little bit in Pinocchio. In Pinocchio on the cover, you know, he's got some sewing and we've got the wire and we've got some fabric scraps and some book page scraps and some tape measure kind of stuff. I've got ledger paper in here. This is that thin tea dye paper that I just used on the dragon. So a little bit of that'll be throughout. Then I've got this skinny little wood panel piece, which I thought is perfect. It's got just, this is a pre-printed, I think this is a Tim Holtz piece. This is scrapbook paper, and yeah, so that's what I have so far in Pinocchio. But back here in the back, I've started gathering some pieces. And this is a piece of handmade paper. You can see like it's legit handmade, absolutely gorgeous textures. And I think I want to put that on there kind of about like that. And then I just took my wood grain stencil and just went kind of around the edge. I didn't focus on the middle. And then I took one of the tags from Tracy's kit and I inked around it with, that's got something on it, with scorched timber. And so it's got that nice dark edge. This is another piece of Tim Holtz cardstock paper. And I think I'm going to put him on there and put that, something like that on there. So I think that'll look really good. Yeah, that might work. What else? I think there's room for something else. So let me look at the cover to kind of get, oh, some wire, duh. Okay, I had a piece over here somewhere. Here's some. All right, let me just kind of twine this around. Just gonna make it just kind of twisty and just random twisty. And I'm gonna twist that on itself. And maybe, well, that did not twist on itself. There we go, twist it on itself there. And maybe this comes back around here like that. What about that? Something like that. And we can put that on the corner, kind of like what I did on the front. So that sort of brings the front and the back together a little bit. All right, since I've been using paper fasteners throughout, because these are one of my absolute favorite little things to use. One of these days I'll run out of them. I'm gonna put, I'm gonna put one of these on here, right here, maybe. Or maybe it should be down. Maybe it should be over here. Oops. Yeah, let's try that. There we go. I like it. I like it. Okay. These are called petite, this is petite paper fasteners from, I guess you pronounce that Nosting. Size 0. There's a bunch of different sizes. I've got a couple different sizes, but this is this is my favorite. This is the size I'm currently using up. And now this whole piece can be glued on. All right, and I'm going to, same thing, I'm going to use Fabri-Tac again, and I think the Fabri-Tac does really nicely with the handmade paper too, and that's what the biggest portion of this surface is that handmade paper. And I think that little collage is done. It's cute. It may not be straight. Good enough. Okay. So that's the inside back cover. So whenever I got a book, I keep spines and inside pieces. So it kind of looks like this. And I'm thinking I might want something like this. This is from the spine of a book. I think I can rip that off, right? Yep. Pretty old. Kind of just disintegrates in your hand, but cool texture. That's gonna come right off. And now this probably looks pretty good, maybe. Right, like that. But maybe this one's not there. Yeah, I like that, but now I want more. All right, let's find some more. This is nice. Let's see, let's dig a little deeper. Oh, this is a great color. It's almost blended into that background piece. I need lighter texture and color. Here's a piece that might be good. Let's see. Okay, I'm liking that. And then maybe this is on top. I mean, I've got plenty of room there. Or maybe not, maybe it's underneath. Okay, I'm liking that. One more little piece. And I want it to be a completely different color, I think. If I can find, but not blend in. This, look at how this just cracked. This is the only thing that this is good for, is something like what I'm getting ready to do. It just is so brittle, it just cracks. There we go. That's what I needed. Okay. I'll put my little box of goodies away. It's actually kind of full. Those little grungy pieces come in handy though, I tell you. Okay. I don't keep a ton of scrapbook paper, scraps. I just don't have the space for it, and then I forget that I have it. But the book binding scraps, oh, those are my favorite. All right, I'm gonna put this together something like this. So let's start with this piece. Whoops, and then when you touch it, it falls apart. So I'm gonna start with this piece, and actually, let's pull that over. Let's pull that out a little bit more. Once it's glued down, it should be fine. Okay, now I wanna put something else on here. You know what I want? I don't want to do another paper fastener because I'm getting paper fastener overload, but I want one of those flat head, these are also no sting. They're called flathead brass paper fastener. This is the 1/2 inch shank, and so again, same thing, they have different sizes, and these genuinely, these are there you go, they're a flat rectangular piece. Love them. And I think this piece could use a little, I'm gonna actually put one right up here. Use my pokey tool. And I'm gonna throw my pokey tool. I'm gonna poke a hole right here. There we go. And pop that through there. I just needed the hole to get it started, and I like that. Okay, so I'm gonna open that up. Most of these paper fastener, oops, I just ripped that. These paper fasteners I get from eBay. I just, you know, keep a watch out for when if anybody posts them, and you know, I'm not gonna pay a ridiculous amount of money for them. Some people are very proud of them and therefore ask way too much. There we go. And then I think, let's see, now here's an example of what I was talking about before. When I open that fastener on the back, the arm is going to be visible on the other side, and I don't want it to be. So I just take my Tim Holtz scissors, you're not going to hurt them, and I snip off the excess. I'm going to be careful here not to snip off the excess. There you go. Flip that back. And well, now there's just a tiny piece left over there, and it's not going to be, nah, it'll be fine. Well, let me go ahead and take a little bit more off. I'm going to lift this up so that I can get to it. And it's going to glue, you know, there's going to be glue and stuff back here, so this isn't going to fall off or anything because I've shortened one of the arms. Okay. And I'll probably scrunch that up a little bit after I get that on there. I like it. Okay. I think what I need to do is I need to round the corners here. Where's my corner rounder? I'm gonna go ahead and use the middle one. And then I'm going to ink this piece, I think, before I glue anything down because it's going to be much harder to ink. Let's glue this onto the page. I think we're going to put it right, I think we're going to put it right here. Yeah, I think. And this is going to be a pocket. So I am going to just glue the 3 sides, and that's Giuseppe. I don't know why, he looks sad. I don't know why, but he does. It's a pocket. Oh, that's ripped, that's not gonna work. There you go. So it's gonna be a good pocket. And I think, and then that's the, see, is this a center spread? Yeah, this is the center spread. Did I put that on? Yeah. It's like, wait a minute, did I put that on upside down? No, I didn't. and then it's going to go here. So for Pinocchio, what we've got so far, we've got the cover. Get some ledger paper, some tea bag paper, coffee dyed paper, some wood grain paper, scrapbook paper. That's the center. Then this opens over here to, this is our pocket with Giuseppe in it. And then the back side of everything. And then on the inside back cover, we have another collage here of another Pinocchio. And I have another Pinocchio, let's see what I do with it, that I already had in my stash. I don't know what I did with it. It's around here somewhere. So I have another Pinocchio that I might, well, I don't know what I did with it, that I might add into here, maybe as another pocket. I really like the embossing folder with the wood grain texture, so I may do another one of those. And that'll kind of also tie into the front cover a little bit. So Pinocchio is almost done. He's almost there. Not quite, but almost. And the dragon is getting closer. Dorothy, I've got some work to do on. The King's Messenger, I have work to do on. And Little Red Riding Hood is done. So as far as the book, the half of the kit that's going to have 5 signatures in it, it's about, it's in pretty good shape. And then the kit that's going to have 4 signatures in it, the Princess kit, they're basically done. I just have to go back through them and decide, if I need to add any paper inserts pieces, into pockets and things. That's what's missing from this one. And then this one, there's a little more decoration to go. So yeah, that's where I am. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I know I didn't do a whole lot today, but this is kind of where the stage I am with these. It's just really, getting the pages decorated and pockets added and inserts created, tags, things, anything like that I need or want in the journal. Anyway, that's it for now. I will be back. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.